Hi folks, I thought I'd just come on today and give you a slightly more funny story that I've been saving for a little while now. This happened, well, essentially I'm going to get into it in a few minutes, but first of all, if you like the channel, then, you know, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. The Patreon is also down below, and the Discord is also free, so if you like what I do, then head on over to the Discord, and we can all have a little chat over there. There should be a permanent link now. It's taken us ages to figure out how to do the permanent link over at Discord. Hopefully it's permanent. Hopefully it doesn't change. So if you find a link on the community part of our YouTube channel, it should be right over there. Go and copy and paste that and have some fun on the Discord for yourself. So this is a very, very, very short video. I recently got talking to one of my old managers today, well, one of my old trainers. And she is a lovely, lovely young woman. And she was speaking to me about this one time where she turned up early to my store with another trainer, and something incredibly funny happened. So, this is around the time of, I would say it's around the November time, so we're getting towards the point where I'm struggling to get ready for Christmas. So, if you don't know, in Games Workshop, Christmas is the most important time of year. It is the time of year where, essentially, we have to get the entire store up to snuff, get everything sorted out. We're going to have a lot more stock coming in, and more battle forces. Fun fact, I had to actually lobby to get my battle forces in. The battle forces are the big £150 box sets, you know, that sell really well over Christmas. I had to lobby to get those. They weren't going to send me any, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. But anyway, so yeah, they came in. They saw that I was struggling, like I was a one-man store. I was running around doing all sorts of things, and so these two trainers, they would come in as a twosome. So you'd have an older gentleman who I can only describe as a bit of a hippie, guy. You know, he would come in and he'd always have these sandals on, like wind, rain or shine. He would have sandals on, and he was one of these guys who was a big vegan, and he'd wear t-shirts and bracelets and things like that, telling you he was a vegan and now you should also be a vegan. And he'd come in, and we had this girl who was basically what I can only describe as a Reddit SHIT poster. You know, she's really, really sound, really, really cool. You know, she would come around with him, and they were just two trainers who would come in, and good cop, bad cop kind of a thing. She would be good cop, and he would be bad cop. He would come in and critique your store and tell you what you were doing wrong, and she would come in and pat you on the back, tell you what you're doing right, and how to get things more right that you're currently doing wrong. So, she comes in, hanging around the store, things like that, and they see that I'm struggling pretty much, and they go back to HQ, and they get a guy called Chris, and Chris will know who he is. They will go and get a guy called Chris, and he came into my store, and I've said this before, he basically sorted me out over Christmas. He came in, he made the entire place run spotless. He fixed out all of my, shall I say, displays, things like that. And it was an awesome time. We had a great day together, building, making sure everything was sorted. And then he went, and I had a really good Christmas. It was awesome. Anyway, one day over Christmas, we get another visit from these two, from the twosome who come in. And they came in unannounced. And it was one of those days where I was really stressed because the entire store was pretty busy over Christmas. And you're already running around doing 8 or 9 things. And we had a school club in that day as well. And if any of you know what school clubs are like, they are not quiet. You go in and your brain is about to effing explode. You're running around the store, you're making sure that different games are going correctly. I had one group there of 4 people, you know, as in an 8-man game, 2 groups of 4, shouting at each other over rules. When I had to go over and say, guys, if you're not enjoying this game, you shouldn't be playing, right? You need to just calm down, do it this way, do it that way, and I would adjudicate this game, and it was just horrible. And I went over to the vegan guy, who we'll just call Vegan Guy, and he said, yeah, that's why we don't run games in stores. You know, looking me up, like, generally annoyed. I look over his shoulder where I see her, she's doing like the mouthing thing with her hand, and like rolling her eyes, and I'm like, okay, right, so we don't all feel that way, which is nice. They were literally the epitome of Games Workshop. This is just like, you know, the two sides. You got this guy here, being a douche, and I got her there being really cool and wanting you to have a nice time in your store. It is what it is, though. You know, every company has them. It's not Games Workshop's own purview, you know. Anyway, the story gets better. We have been painting in the store 5 Dreadknights, right? When I say Dreadknights, I mean like you know what a Dreadknight is, a Grey Knight Dreadknight. And in general, we're doing it for a diorama that we're putting together for the window, where we're going to have a few, you know, Nurgle demon princes squaring off against some Dreadknights on like this big plague field thing. That's going to go in the window with lights and smoke and all that. It's going to look awesome. It did look awesome in the end. Look absolutely epic. Anyway, I have this set up behind the till. So all of the work in progress is behind the till. And it's out the way, and people aren't going to, like, you know, wreck it or anything. But the way to get into the back room is through there. It's through the back, behind the till. Walk behind the till, go in the back room. And so everything's going well with the day. And I notice, right, as we go on, that a cake has arrived in the store. Now, there is a cafe down the road that I got on very, very, very well with. And they would sometimes bring down some cakes. And so we all started, like, munching on this cake. And the trainers also munched on the cake a little bit. And about 10 minutes in, vegan guy says, whoa, hang on a second. Is this, where was this cooked? Where was this baked? And, you know, she says, oh, it was in an oven and blah, 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 you know. And, you know, she's like, yeah, it was just in an oven. Was it contaminated with meat products? And she goes, well, we do put the bacon in there, yeah. And we put, and as soon as she said that, his face just went completely pale. He put the cake down and walked into the back room, right? Now, before he goes into, like, any back room area, he took his sandals off, because it's just what he does, right? He likes to respect the area. I don't know what that is. You know, I don't know what that is. He treats the back room like it's a living area, because that's where I have my lunch. Fair enough. I mean, he's being nice, I suppose. But he takes off his sandals, he goes in the back, and I can only imagine that he's, you know, he's not having a very good time in there, because, you know, when we went to check on him, he was basically throwing up in the toilet. Like, he was trying to get it up. Like, he was that much of a vegan. And I kind of felt sorry for him. Because, you know, it's a choice, and it's important to him. And if he, you know, if it's not really, if he's that disturbed by it, you know, okay, fair enough, you know. I mean, I always used to eat bacon sandwiches in front of him. He never said anything to me. I mean, he tried and convert me, of course, but he didn't ever have to go at me. Anyway, I am talking to customers, getting on with the day, and having a good time. When I hear behind me a yelp and a sort of crying noise, and I turn around, and this guy, this vegan, is hopping around, holding one foot, and falls back into the stockroom. To which point I'm like, what has gone on here? He's walked out of the stockroom without his sandals on, number one, bad, you know. He's put his foot on the pre-made display that's on the floor, where you skewered his foot, not just on the Sector Imperialis small part of that thing, where it's got the spiked, it has the spiked railings, right? Not just on that, but on a sword of a fallen Dreadknight. So Dreadknight is lying half submerged into the floor, and the sword is sticking out. Yeah, his foot goes straight onto that, straight through it. So I walk back, and there is blood on the floor. When I say blood, there's drops on the floor to where he's cradling his foot on a seat, and he is basically shouting at me, saying that, you know, that shouldn't be there, things like that, you know. But I kind of know at this point it's out of anger. It's not out of, like, it's out of pain. Rather than him, he knows he's in the wrong here. It's well out the way. It's nowhere near any of the customers. And I know he knows he was wrong because I never got a warning or anything for it. I apologised profusely. Said, look, man, I'll run and get some stuff for you. I went and got him some plasters, things like that. Brought it back, and you know, everything was fine. But hey, for some reason, his colleague, she was really happy that this had occurred. Like, you know, she was just like, oh, what a shame. That'll teach you for putting your feet where they shouldn't be, you know, that sort of thing. She was just reaming him out the entire time. Anyway, we locked up later on, and I saw them disappearing into the night towards the train station. Him limping and actually leaning on her as he was going towards the train station. It's one of those funny images that I have of them walking off into the rainy night, and that's the last time I ever saw them. Okay? That was just like one of the most random stories of Games Workshop Daring Do that I actually have in the old memory banks. hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. It was a short video today. I just wanted to give you like a nice little one. I couldn't figure out where to put this because it's not that big of a story. I just thought, screw it. I wasn't going to do a video today. Then I thought, you know what? I had this conversation today with an ex-colleague. I thought, you know what? Let's have a little... I'll put it on the channel, see how it goes. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And tomorrow, we will be doing some hobby nightmares that are actually positive. I know. It's crazy. Actually positive hobby nightmares. Can you believe it? But they will be on tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I'm working towards doing some lore. It's probably going to be salamanders. I know. But bear with me. I'm going to do something interesting with them. I promise you. It's going to be interesting. And then Friday, we have a very, very, very big ranty hobby nightmare that I've been saving for a while that gets me pretty hot under the collar, to be honest with you. Anyway, love you all a long time. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy. See you later. Bye.